Okay, so I got a really cool looking portrait here. I really like the hairstyle. I looked up mullets and I was like looking for references, and this one came up, and I really like it. So let's go ahead and start off with the circle, and let's look for the main angle, and looking for the head tilt, and I think it's pretty straightforward. Maybe a slight tilt. And then the center line of the face is at an angle inwards. Let's see. And let's do the third. So you can't see the hairline exactly, but we can come down to about where the nose is, and then the bottom of the chin. And I'm going to compare those two. So I'm going to measure from his chin to the bottom of the nose, and compare that to the bottom of the nose to the brow. And it comes up to about right here. And then we'll just check this. So I need to bring the chin down a little bit. And then let's do the angle of the nose. And then the glabella shape. And it's pretty shallow on him. And then the angle of his, the bridge of his nose. And we'll curve for the tip of his nose, and then attached between the philtrum here. I'll just go ahead and do the Cupid's bow, and we'll come back to that. So let's go back up to let's see. Let's do the cheek actually. So we got the brow right here at an angle. And that looks pretty good. So the tip of the nose is going to tell us a lot as far as the cheek. So it doesn't quite touch it, but it's really close. So we can use that as a reference for this far side cheek. Okay, and it looks like it's behind some hair there. I can't really see it that well, but it looks like he has a little bit of a brow ridge, and his forehead might slope like that. And I'm just going to draw the the skull and everything, and then I'll draw in the hair afterwards. So I just want to get the structure down first. So let's do the eyebrow shape. And it comes up, arches over, and then at this point is the side plane of the head. And typically I just draw usually this line right here. This one I don't really draw in, but I just did for the demonstration. And let's see the angle from his ear, where it attaches to the head, to the brow, is on this angle here. And the angle of his jaw in front of the ear is like so. So you see this in Loomis, where he cuts, basically he's cutting the side of the sphere off of the head, and then it shows that plane change. So if we drew a line, if we drove a car or something across the top of the head, we would drive on this oval shape. But then when we come to this corner, we would drive straight down. So it's just to show how the planes of the head are, how they operate. So let's come back here. So the ear is going to be in this quadrant. And to double check the placement of the bottom of the ear, I'm just going to hold up a horizontal line from the bottom of the ear straight across through the nose, and it looks like it goes through the nostril. So let's go ahead and sketch in the wing of the nostril, and it's about there. And if we took a line straight across, the lobe of the ear would start about right there. And let's double check the top of the ear. Straight across using horizontal line, coming across the face, and it lines up with the brow. It's probably a little bit lower. So we know the top of the ear is over here. The ear actually attaches to the skull right here, where we have that line. It actually matches up pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't, and always go with how it matches up to the other features of the face versus trying to get that generic circle and then divide in 4 quadrants to work every time, because it really depends on the person. In this case, it worked. So that is more like a rule of thumb, the Loomis method, where you do the side and you divide it into 4 pieces, and the ear sits in that 4th quadrant. As you can see, the ear is a little bit outside because it arches up or whatnot. Depends on the placement of the ear on the person too. Okay, so next, let me just go back to the nose and kind of give it a little bit more life before I move on. And let's put a little indication of the nostril, and then I'll come back to it later. Okay, I was just about to start with shadow mapping. It's just funny. It's hard for me to stay exactly on point with the process of the drawing sometimes. So now let's do the angle. We got this angle of this side of the jaw, and now we're going to take this angle. So I'm going to hold my pencil up to the image in front of me, and on the bottom of the jaw, that goes from the chin to the corner up here. So from here to here, I'm using my pencil to find that angle, and then I'm going to bring the pencil down, then match it up. And it's a quick way to find an angle of the jaw. Now he has a pretty narrow angle for that jaw, but before we get into more detail of that, I'm going to go ahead and map in the mouth, because I might need to bring this chin up a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, with this far side cheek in relationship to the nose here, the tip of the nose and the far side cheek, we can do the same thing with the far side of this corner of the mouth and versus the edge of the cheek. So it's another good place to look for comparative placement of things. So we have this straight line for the bottom of the nose. I just want to make sure everything lines up on the same line, and the corner of the mouth is about right here. So we want everything to line up, and I can already tell I do need to bring that chin up. But let me go ahead and do the shape of this lip first. And it's not too far out. The corner looks like it's pretty close. It's maybe at this angle, something like this. Let's see. And then this side wraps around. It's so subtle. Let me really work on that. Let's put this, you can see the split right down the middle, and then we do that curve. There we go. And his mouth is slightly open. Which we can sketch in very easily, not worrying about the teeth at all. And you can see this bottom lip is actually crossing this line. So we right right away I see that I need to bring that line over. But let's do the lip first. Get the split of the lip. And I think I need to make this side a little bit longer. And I'm going to do the rhythm for the chin. And then let's bring that chin up a little bit. And then we'll change the angle as well of the chin. So let's bring this line further in. So we know it's right there. Relationship to the nose comes down. So it's more like that. Now let's do that angle. Actually, it kind of curves a little bit and then curves again. My neighbor throwing away all his bottles. I don't know if you heard that or not. That was funny. It's nothing like taking out your recycling to feel like an alcoholic. It's like, no, I promise. This is like 3 months of collecting. I didn't drink this last night. Let's see. So I'm doing a little bit of a shadow mapping on this jaw, just so I can get like a better feel of it. Let's see. So I think this needs to come in more at an angle. Okay. So let me go ahead and find the peak of his shirt, like the V shape, somewhere down here. Then it'll come up to here somewhere. So the back of his ear, let's find the neck. And then we do the collar as well. Okay, so let's clean this guy up a little bit. I'll leave these lines because I want that to be. It's important. So it's important to remember. Let me fix this. I made this. This happens a lot. Like when something's in extreme proportion like that, like foreshortening, to like the brain will try to stretch it out, and that's what I did there. So I gotta adjust that and correct it. So I got the placement, I just didn't get the actual shape. So that comes around, moving the middle forward more. So I was seeing too much of this side versus the other, because my brain was trying to bring it forward, which is like a common thing that happens. And I have to watch out for it. So let's bring this one more in. There we go. And then that bottom lip comes out. We have this bottom shelf of the bottom lip kind of rhythm, and then this comes over. Not much of a muzzle line. He's a young guy. It's not very deep. And let's see, I can put a little bump on the ridge of the nose. For the eye socket, so it sort of has this shape here, but then it connects to this shape of the kind of indicating the structure of the nose, the bony structure. And then we have the eyeglass shape, or the eye socket. Far side eyelid. Let's see. So before I go into the eyes, let me finish the hair, the overall head shape, and starting off with the hairline. And looks like he just got a nice fade that day. And then his hair comes down. And it ends right there. So I'm hitting this edge really hard, and it's going to be part of the hair shape. And then we'll bring it down. And then let's get the overall shape. Part is right about here. It's a lot to his hair. It's really fun. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I'll just do his ear first, and then I'll go into the eyes. So the ear, we just do the little helix here, and this curves inwards into the ear, and then there's like this little point, and then that's where the tragus, that flap on the front of your ear. Then we come down to the notch, and then it turns into the antitragus. So that's the tragus, antitragus. And we come up to the antihelix. And it usually has that little divot right here. let's see. So let's do the eyes. And let's see. So we have the ball of the eye, which is going to help us because we're going to use that to try to find the, not just the inside corner, but the overall shape of the eyelid. So let's place the inside corner of his eye. Let's see, we have this shape and then this, and he's just on the inside of that. So here, and then we come straight across to the other eye. And we already started it from earlier. And his iris. And the bottom eyelid. So it's like a hard, not a hard edge, but a straight edge right here. It's where the eyelid is coming out from behind that sphere and creates a little step. And then we come down the cheek. Okay. Let's go to the other side. So it's more of a curve. Then it comes up and pops down. And I can readjust my shapes for the orbital bone. Let's go back to the eye. Let's curve this around a little bit better. Okay, just need to clean this up and fix that kind of overall shape. It's really subtle lighting right here too, so I have to kind of invent a little bit with the shadow shapes, or at least the edge quality. Let's see, that looks better. This is actually a little bit longer. And then there's like a little corner right there. I'm kind of flicking the pencil to get those little subtle shapes. Let's see. Okay, let's go back down into the mouth. I don't really like the shape I have. Put some tone in the upper lip and then underneath it. let's do the shadow shape of the chin. The form shadow. So it comes around. A little bit harder right here. And then his cheeks are so soft and round. And let's look at his zygomatic arch. See, I have this jaw really squared compared to what he is. He's more round. And then the shadows comes down. I get into the Adam's apple. A little, it's so subtle, this lighting that he has, but I'm gonna make it a little bit crisper. Like cast shadow from the ear. I'm just going to hit the edges stronger in certain areas. How do I do this? Let's see. I think he comes in, it's pretty dark right here, and then he has that fade. I wasn't going to put it in a lot of tone, but it's calling me now. So I'm going to look for places where the light is obstructed. That, like in this corner, is going to be pretty dark, and the nostril, of course. On these form shadows, not as dark. So I'm going to try to push the contrast between those, the darkest shadows and then the form shadows. So you look at the shadow on the chin or on the jawline, it's really interesting because it gets, the form shadow gets thinner and darker and more crisp as you go across bone. On the chin though, it's kind of, because it's like a ball, it's more rounded, and then right here it squares off and it's like a darker, crisper edge. And then when you come up into more of the fleshy area of the cheek, that shadow kind of opens up, gets thick and soft compared. Let's see. Let me clean his face up. And so I think I'm dragging my dirty hand across it too much. Okay, so we got that side plane of the head. I'm looking for that cheek rhythm. Like if I was painting him like full color, this right here would be the red. I would make his cheeks a little bit red, a little ruddy. Probably his nose too. Let me try to pull out a highlight. Just a little one. Okay, I'm going to go into the hair and just put in a nice tonal mass. I'm just going to do some cross hatching because I haven't done that for a while. It's pretty fun. I should do more of it. I just thought I'd play with it. And I like to put it in, and then if it's too much of the cross hatching, and then I'll just blend it in with my finger a little bit. He's got a highlight right on that cheek. So I was trying to show that plane change. So we come across, over, come down, come across, over, down. So hopefully that worked out. That hair really sharp. It's a pretty cool hairstyle. Let's see. I'm going to put some tone in the bottom lip so I can pull out a highlight. I'm going to use my little Tombo Pen Eraser. So right on his lip, right there, and then maybe right there. And we already did the nose, maybe in the eye. I think that's pretty much it for this little sketch. I could have made his hair a little bit more poofy, I think. Maybe a little bit more thicker, I don't know. Let me pull out the highlight on his ear. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Let me know how it goes on this one in the comments and stuff. And so basically I was just trying to keep it pretty structured at the beginning and then go in and work on the shadow shapes as best I can. With the image like this where there's not a lot of, I mean there is shadows but they're pretty soft, and so you kind of like have to rely on the structure a little bit more and invent some of the shadow shapes and how the shadows playing around with the form. So working more structurally when you have a photo like this where it's kind of blown out a little bit, it really helps. Let's see. All right. Thanks again, guys. Oops, hold on. I just want to hit that highlight. Hits there, then there. Okay. It never ends, right? There's always going to be something I don't like. It's hard to let go sometimes. All right, I'm letting this one go. Bye, guys. Have fun.